My name is Akelo Holy Oliver. I work at CTC Conservation Center as a chief animal handler and also a tourist guide. So basically what I do here is taking care of the animals, like there's feeding, cleaning the enclosures, interacting with the animals, and also guiding tourists and giving them more information about the animals that we have here, and also making them interact with the animals. With the people who are surrounding this conservation center, I would just like to call upon their cooperation so that we can cooperate and conserve together, because this is something that can benefit all of us. Like, for example, we have very many local communities who we employ here to do casual work, and even some permanent workers are employed from the community here. So it creates job opportunity and then also conservation awareness to the country itself. The challenges that we face as an animal handler or as a conservation itself, sorry, let me just restart. The problems I face as an animal handler or as the general? General. Okay, there are several challenges that are faced, more especially with a wildlife facility like this. One of them is the perspective of some people, like some individuals who do not support the cause of conservation. And then there are very many other things. Of course, there is the decrease of wildlife population in the national parks, I would say. That also affects the conservation center like this, because whatever is happening out there can happen in here. You know, there are a lot of problems, challenges. Also, there are problems like wildlife diseases that can affect the animals, like the canine distemper, parvoviruses, and others. But good enough here, we have been actually having very good success, since our animals are usually vaccinated, and we have a full-time vet who is always taking very good care of the animals health-wise. So most of our animals are really very well taken care of. So yes. We manage the security for these animals is that, like for example, the lion enclosure has electric fence that we always turn on whenever we have the big lions out. The smaller ones don't really need that. But also at night, we ensure that our lions sleep in the sleeping camps, where we know that their security is more guaranteed than when they sleep outside. But we have security as well, like here, well-armed security. So the security for the animal and the visitors and also the animal caretakers here, it's guaranteed 100%, can say that. For having this coverage today, we hope this brings more awareness to the communities, and also make people understand more about conservation, because our lives really depend on it. We need to conserve for the next generation. Thank you so much. This was Olivia, CTC Conservation Center. I've been working with animals for some years now, and one of the things that make it more easy for new people to interact with these animals, it's we, the animal handlers who work here at CTC Conservation Center. We always interact with these animals, and we have created good relationship with them, in a sense that they don't see people as bad, you know. They always have good interaction with people and relationship, so they're not scared of people that much, and they know there's some level of interaction they can do with the people, especially with the baby lions, because they've been interacting with several people. But of course also there's a limit to where new people can go with them. But for us, the handlers, there's also a level of interaction that we can go with. And then we have some other animals as well, like the zebras. There's kind of interaction that people can interact with, like feeding them also. Then we have African palm civet, and the leopard tortoises, baby crocodiles. And very soon we are going to open the lemurs as well for people to be interacting with. So we have a lot of animals here at CTC Conservation Center for people to interact with.
My name is Thomas Price. I'm the owner and director of CTC Conservation Center. This has always been a childhood passion and a dream of mine to build a facility like this in a beautiful country like Uganda. I've been here since 1994 and call this my home, and I'm happy that I can contribute to the tourism industry with this wonderful project.
Great. Yeah, so
we started this project in 2015. The beginning, in the first few years, we were moving very slowly. It was mostly just a few snakes and chameleons. Over the last few years, we've grown rapidly. We've added lions, hyenas, zebras, a lot of ungulates like the impalas as well. The objective of this facility is to create a state-of-the-art conservation facility as a head start facility. One example of that would be the African painted dogs, which we imported from South Africa, which unfortunately have gone extinct in Uganda over the last decades, where we can breed animals here and possibly return them to the national parks and have the offsprings go back to nature. Other aspect is for the tourism industry, where we want to have small groups of visitors, domestic tourism as well as international tourism, be able to come here, interact with our animals and bond with our animals. It's very different to experience a bond with an animal where you feed an animal, it comes close to you, than from just seeing an animal at a zoo in a cage. So we are something very different from a zoo, and I hope that visitors who come here, they leave with a better understanding of animals after they've been really up close with them, see how they behave, and see that wildlife, they're not just wild creatures, they're sentient beings like our domestic animals as well. They all have feelings and emotions. Zebras or only the water bucks. So we're waiting to have those licensed and then pushing for the cottages to be finished. And hopefully when that all is done, we'll be open within like 2 months from now.
okay.
Visitors who come here, they can interact with the lions, they can interact with the bat-eared foxes, we have baby crocodiles which one can hold, we have the tortoises, we have the zebras and the impalas which can be fed. And we keep on adding more and more animals, so the interaction is growing. We have lemurs now, which we imported, which people will be able to interact with as well. We're hoping to add a variety of other animals within the year, where we'll probably also have rhinos, hopefully by next year, all depending on how the bureaucratic process ends up. And many people ask me about my favorite, and surprisingly it's not the lions. My favorite animals here actually are the bat-eared foxes. I'm much of a canid person. I love dog-like animals, and the foxes are my absolute passion. I love my bat-eared foxes. Face a very diverse array of challenges. There's bureaucratic challenges, financial challenges, logistic challenges, where even like veterinary medicine, tools, things are very hard to get in Uganda. A lot of our things we need to import from outside. A lot of vaccines for wildlife are not available at all, because you cannot use the normal vaccines which you use for cats and dogs on wild animals. So there are a lot of challenges, but we're making headway, we're moving. I would say the biggest challenges, sadly enough, are challenges within, which would be like bureaucratic challenges, which are absolutely unnecessary. Well, from a conservation point of view, I would say as a head start facility, it can be very beneficial to the country, because we are importing several species from outside, some of which are completely extinct already, others which are critically endangered on a national level. Examples would be, like I mentioned earlier, the African painted dog, the striped hyena, which we brought all the way from Germany, which we want to breed and then possibly reintroduce. Our lions, I mean, we imported 4 lions, right now we have 20 lions, and that all happened within 1.5 years of them breeding. So I would say from a conservation point of view, there's that direct benefit of reintroduction, that's one possibility, but much more also the awareness. Somebody who comes here and can touch a lion in its natural environment can bond with a lion, and suddenly now the lion is not this savage beast which just eats people's goats, but it's actually a nice, beautiful animal. And I think that interaction, even with the antelopes and with the zebras, it's something which creates a lot of awareness. When people really interact and they see like, wow, this animal is actually beautiful and friendly and interesting. It's much more different than just looking at it as, some wild animals, who cares, not the most important thing in life. Actually, it's very important to us and very beautiful. Then, from a tourism point of view, I think we enhance the tourism industry, because this is an experience which you cannot have anywhere else in Uganda. There's no other facility where you can interact with so many different animals and learn so much about the different animals. And of course, once the cottages are done and everything is done, we also will be one of the main tourist attractions in Uganda, which again helps us to compete with neighboring countries, because we shouldn't really be considering us competing within Uganda, because the tourism industry is so big that we should be looking at the bigger picture of neighboring countries and being competitive with the neighboring countries and bringing as many tourists into the country as we can. Because somebody will come here, he'll still go to the national park, he will still go whitewater rafting, he will still do this and that. So we complement each other. The more tourism attractions we have in Uganda, the more we all benefit together.